Hey everyone, hope you're doing great. Hope everything's going well. We're continuing our reading of the Tafseer. It's been excellent. We're in Surah Al-Baqarah, dealing with 108 and 109. Do you want to question your messenger, just as Musa was questioned before? Whoever exchanges faith for disbelief has strayed from the right path. Many among the people of the book wish they could turn you back to disbelief after you have believed, out of the envy they have in their hearts, after the truth has become clear to them. But forgive and overlook until Allah gives His command, for Allah has power over all things. And establish regular prayer, and give zakah, and whatever good you send forth for your souls, you will find it with Allah, for Allah sees well all that you do. Okay, so those was the Quran ayat, and so now let's get into what he tells us about the context. Here Allah forbids the believers or the Jews to question their messenger as Musa was questioned before. What is referred to here is questioning by way of causing annoyance or raising objections, as Allah, glory be to Him, says elsewhere. Okay, so causing annoyance, just really getting the thorns in the sides. The people of the book ask you to bring down for them a book from heaven. Indeed, they asked Musa for something even greater than that, when they said, "Let us see Allah with our own eyes." An-Nisa 4:153. O you who believe, do not ask questions about matters which, if they were made known to you, would only cause you hardship. Al-Ma'idah 5:101. Now this is interesting because it's like people wanting just above and beyond the biggest proofs and just not really trying to do anything to seek it. They just want it kind of plopped in their lap, right? This and similar matters are forbidden. With regard to asking in order to learn and understand, this is something praiseworthy and was enjoined by Allah when He said, "So, O people, ask those who have knowledge, if you do not know." An-Nahl 16:43. Okay, so here, yes, you can ask questions and seek to clarify and understand. So that's a big caveat. It's not saying you can't, raise, because see, someone would take the raising objections and annoyance, like, oh, well, of course, if you're asking them questions and stuff like that for proof, they're gonna be like, no, you're annoying me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I can know what kind of response someone would say to that. But here, he clearly points out that, no, if you're really trying to learn something and your intentions are pure, it's going to do it. But if you're just kind of like purposely causing a ruckus, trying to get the attention in the room, being a little travieso, then you know what you're doing, right? This is something of which he approves, as he says, they ask you about intoxicants and gambling, 2:219. And they ask concerning the property of orphans, 2:220, and so on. Okay. Because the kind of asking that is forbidden is blameworthy, it may lead the one who asks to disbelief, as Allah says, "Whoever exchanges faith for disbelief has strayed from the right path." Okay, so the kind of asking that is blameworthy is the kind you shouldn't do. Then he tells them about the envy of many of the people of the book, which has reached such a point that they wish they could turn you back to disbelief after you have believed. And they strove to achieve that, plotting and planning, but their plot backfired on them. As Allah says, a group among the people of the book say, "Claim to believe in the morning and what is revealed to the believers, but reject it at the end of the day. Perhaps they may turn back from Islam." Al-Imran 3:72. Okay, group among the people of the book. So, they reject it at the end of the day, but they may turn back. This was because of the envy they had in their hearts, Hence Allah enjoined the believers to respond to their extreme mistreatment with forgiveness and to overlook it until He gave His command. Okay, so you're gonna just forgive, essentially. Then after that, Allah gave His command to them to fight. Thus Allah gave the believers the satisfaction of settling the score with them. So they took some prisoner and expelled others, for Allah has power over all things. Then Allah commanded them to make the most of the present time by establishing the prayer, giving zakah, and doing all kinds of acts of worship. He promised them that whatever they did of good in abundance, that whatever they did of good would never be lost with Allah. Rather, they would find it with Him in abundance, as He would preserve it. For Allah sees well all that you do. Yeah, so that's very clear, right? That everything you do gets accounted for, and it's there, being preserved, waiting to be measured, essentially, right? So even though you're not getting what we think an immediate, right, reward for what we've done, it's gonna come, and that's the promise. And that's the justice. So don't exchange a temporary earthly fix for a reward that you could have had in the hereafter, essentially. That's what I get from that. So now we're in 111, 112. And they say, no one will enter paradise unless he is a Jew or a Christian. That is their own wishful thinking. Say, produce your evidence if you are telling the truth. Nay, whoever submits himself completely to Allah and is a doer of good will have his reward with his Lord. They will have no fear, nor will they grieve. So, what I get from that essentially, right, is it's not about just if you belong to a certain faith. It's about if you worship God alone, just God alone, and you do your good deeds. So it's very important to note that distinction, I believe. That is, the Jews said, no one will enter paradise except one who is a Jew. The Christians said, no one will enter paradise except one who is a Christian. Thus they ruled that paradise was for them alone. But this was just wishful thinking that cannot be accepted unless it is accompanied by proof of evidence. So produce your evidence if you are telling the truth. I think Christians would say you can't get to the Father unless through me. I think that's what Christians say. Not sure what the Jewish people say. The same applies. The blood of the Lamb would be for Christians. Yeah, I don't know what it would be for Judaism. I gotta learn. The same applies to anyone who makes a claim. He must supply proof to the validity of his claim. Otherwise, if it was met by an opposing claim from someone else, and he had no proof either, then there would be no difference between the two. Evidence is that which proves or disproves a claim. As they have no proof, it is known that this claim of theirs is false. Then Allah described the ruling that is based on clear proof, which is general in application, as He says, nay, the matter is not as you wish or claim. Rather, whoever submits himself completely to Allah, that is sincere to Allah alone in his deeds and turns to Him with all his heart, and in addition to his sincerity is a doer of good with regard to worshipping his Lord, and that which he worships Him as He has prescribed. These are the only ones who are the people of paradise. Okay, totally made it clear for us. Alright, I have that memorized. I don't know about you. You probably do. You're probably more advanced than me. But this laid it down right here. So what's the essence of Islam? I've heard it, but you hear it again right here. You have to completely submit yourself to Allah. And you have to be sincere in your deeds. So it's like turn to Him first. That's what I've been practicing. When I feel something, fear or something, I turn and just whatever it takes. You gotta look out the window at the sky. You gotta close your eyes and think. You gotta stare at the ground. Whatever it is you have to do to cut off all sensory around you and just focus and then, put your total energy into thinking, I need to turn to my maker for aid, and just plead in your mind for what you need. That, I think, is what they mean, and I've been doing that. You have to turn in sincerity. You have to really do it just automatically, right? That's what I've been, and doing of good. You think, how can you do something good, whether it's small or big, adds up. So again, another clear definition.